Somebody's gonna start popping up in chat.
Okay. Okay. This is the. Did you copy the? Do you have the link?
I think I do. I'm double checking now because the one I put in the chat might not be correct anymore.
Okay. I have. I think I can copy.
Yes, the link in the chat is working.
Okay.
There, we are live there. Oh, it says the scholar says that it says the stream has ended. Son of a gun.
Okay.
Hold
I'm
on, wait, wait,
making.
wait. I'm just gonna tell them to try it again.
Yeah. Also, check the. Copy. Copy. I'm gonna drop it here.
Okay. All right. Oh, we have one viewer. Woo! Is it? It's not me. It's gotta be scholar.
Yes, Ivy.
Woo!
Okay.
Again, never doubted you. Not even for a minute.
No, not even for a second. We figured it out. Got it. Got it. Got it. Oh God, I don't. We figured it out. Where do we? uh. So.
Hey guys, how y'all doing?
What are we doing? We did have a plan.
We did. We do. We have a plan.
We do have a plan. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. The plan today is to do a homage to fathers throughout time and history and space and media, mostly media, mostly just media. So I would like to take the second to start off this stream by saying Happy Father's Day to everybody. I didn't say it too because I forgot to get in the Discord and say Happy Father's Day to everybody that applies to in the chat. But Happy Father's Day to all of my cast members, my father, and the other men around that help raise and teach me how to take care of my boys. So Happy Father's Day to everybody.
Happy Father's Day to me.
Happy Father's Day to Tori.
Honorary
the surly DM.
in the dad podcast.
Yeah.
Jazz is a little echoey. Is that my fault?
Oh.
Let's see.
See. That's just because I'm loud and country, so I'll just talk softer.
Does that help, gang? Maybe.
What? No. What you doing? I can just turn my mic volume down some.
Okay. Well, I think we're okay.
All right. Cool.
Yeah, it helped. Okay, sick. Great. Nice. Yes, we are. This is us. And here we are. Here's sneak attack on us. We're here. Happy Father's Day, belated. I am Tori, and I play Maury on the Gimme to Luke podcast, and I'm here with
Jazz, and I play Fate on the Give It a Luke podcast.
Oh, unless he's
I haven't
dead.
listened to the latest episode. I play Fate on the Give It a Luke podcast. That's what I'm gonna stick with for now. Gotta double check my sources.
And
no spoilers.
No spoilers. Speaking of, no, Fate is not a father or a daddy, or has one. Speaking of daddy issues, we go into what we are doing today, which is, we're gonna, to make this a Father's Day themed D&D stream, Go through each of the D&D classes and rank them on a scale from Ognum to Tied as to how daddy that class is. Give some examples of that class in pop culture and media, and then ultimately, yeah, set that rank.
So I've gotta ask because I understand, like me personally, if I'm saying Ognum's tier, Ognum's gonna be kind of on the lower end of daddom,
Mm-hmm.
Tied being the upper echelon of daddom.
Yes.
But if I'm gonna have like a middle ground, the only character I can really think about putting there is Ulrich.
Elias? Huh?
Wow, that's what we're doing right here, right now. Okay, wow.
You know, he's the what is it? The one he stepped up, hoofed up, stepped up, showed up. What is a dad?
I am sending Nate the Hoof guy after Elias. Hope he gets a rock and some of
Is
that
it kind
hoof
of
horn.
like in the way that in our lore, like the belief in making like the religion stronger, is it like the more people that call him daddy make him is
Oh Christ!
that
You guys are just gonna believe him into being the father?
yeah.
Yeah, got it. All right. If we wish it hard enough.
All right, so we'll just do this in alphabetical order.
Okay.
So we'll start with barbarian.
You skipped artificer.
Oh, my list has artificer separate because it's not in the source
Mm.
book. It's in Tasha's Cauldron.
Uh, fair, fair play. We can start Barb then.
All right,
So I have a character reference for barbarian. I don't know if you had one you had thought of
I'll go for
already.
it.
So okay, clearly I was being scatterbrained. Because I'm looking at the notes that I put down on this, and I for barbarian, the pop cultural character I went with was Rocky. However, the actor portraying this character that I used as my reference was Michael B. Jordan. So clearly, I either meant Sylvester Stallone or I meant Creed, Adonis Creed.
I mean, well, no, I was about to say in Black Panther, he was kind of daddy, but what's his name from the other tribe was a lot more daddy than he was, so I think that knocks him out.
Yeah. Okay, so then are we going with a young Sly Stallone, or do you have a better, more daddy barbarian?
So barbarian in general. So let's see. Let's just remind everybody in case everybody forgot what a barbarian is.
For
Um,
sure.
so we've got there's strong boys. I say that as a gender neutral term, boys. Mighty warriors, primal forces, more than a mere emotion, not limited anger, rage is an incarnation, predators, ferocity. It's all primal. Service protectors and leaders in their community. I feel like we're really kicking it off with the most, what's the word? Not stereotypical, but like original or like classic definition
Mm-hmm.
of a father would be like the original protector,
Fair.
hunter, gatherer sort of thing.
You know what's wild to me is as you were reading that description, the whole time in my brain, I was like, this just sounds like a really nurturing mother. Like I was
Yeah,
just picturing
right?
like a mother bear just like going after something because it's like screwing with their cubs. Like that would be a really good. I was over here like painting the picture of a character in my head to do like a barbarian, a woman barbarian who's like the found family trope. And then yeah, sorry,
Yeah.
sorry, we're supposed to be talking about
No,
daddies, but yeah, that's what happened.
no, I could see that. I could see that too. I mean, I do like that in all the D&D source books. It's but I can't honestly can't picture in my head like a male barbarian. A lot of times they show a female barbarian as an example.
hmm Um, I mean, there's the old classic Conan the Barbarian who was played by Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah.
Um, hmm. I don't know. Not a lot of dad vibes there though. Who else could be?
Hmm. Yeah, what's a The barbarians I immediately think of are like on a some sort of solo quest. They're not like at home with the kids.
Right, right.
I guess because I'm thinking like a primal kind of caveman y. Fred Flintstone popped up in my head, but he is not a good man. He's not a good husband as far as a father.
He's not.
But
He is a barbarian, but yeah, that doesn't make him a
yeah,
good daddy. No.
I don't know if he's
Although,
strong enough to be a
listen.
barbarian.
Did he did love his daughter.
He did.
He
He
did
did love
love
his
his daughter.
daughter. Ooh, all of the
So
Jason Stathams.
all of the Jason
All of the
Statham's.
Jason Stathams, yeah. All of the fictional Jason Stathams, I think. I mean, it
I
might be a little bit. There's other classes that might fit it better. I guess I'm just thinking of like a gruff, like strong type of character.
so we were kind of on the same wavelength. I was gonna suggest maybe Fast and the Furious Dom Toretto, Vin Diesel,
Ah, yes, yeah.
right? Barbarian pulls off amazing feats of
Mm-hmm.
whatever due to him being enraged because someone is messing with his family.
Yes, yes,
So
yeah. It is all
both
about family.
Barbarian
Yeah,
and Daddy.
yeah, yeah. I didn't think I would ever call Vin Diesel daddy in an official capacity, but that's what we set up here. So
All right.
to wrap it up on Barbarian, we've got um, our embody not full embodiment. One of our example we're using is Vin Diesel specifically as Dominic Toretto
Mm-hmm.
in the Fast and the Furious
Mm-hmm.
franchise, standing up for his family, and on a scale of Ognum being the least daddy to Tied being the most. Let's say a scale of mixing a 0 to 10. Um, what would we rate Barbarian? Not necessarily Dominic Toretto, but like the Barbarian
Okay.
class in general.
Got you. Okay. So it honestly, if I'm rating Barbarian as a class, great ability to protect.
Mm-hmm.
Um, if you're talking about OP dad strength, they
Yeah,
got that when they rage.
yeah.
I think Barbarian might be full on
I
Tia's class dad.
I think so. I think Barbarian's a 10 on the daddy scale. I think that's a good
Yeah.
father.
Oh, wow. Sorry, I just had a personal thing pop in my head. Okay, can I tell a quick story about my dad?
Sure.
Um,
No,
yeah.
I don't want to know about your dad.
So, long story short, there was this old footbridge that used to cross the creek behind our house to the other side of the neighborhood. My dad was taking my little brother. He's crossed this bridge a million times. Um, the bridge breaks while he's crossing. He falls off the bridge while carrying my brother into the creek. The creek's got to be 5, 6 foot deep. Nobody sees this happen. Me, my mother, and my sister are in the house. We're completely unawares. All of a sudden, my dad just comes busting back in the house. There's blood everywhere, and he's holding my brother in his arms, and he's freaking the hell out. And my brother's crying because, of course, he just fell off the bridge to the water. He's scared. He shook up. My dad got them both out of the water. He runs back in the house, and so he hands my brother, my little brother, who at this time was maybe like 6 or 7 years old, over to my mother, and he's checking him out, and he's like freaking out because he's trying to figure out where my brother's bleeding from. And finally, like my mom stops him, and she's like, "Dwayne, it's you." He's got a giant gash like down his back and across his arm. My brother's completely fine. He's just
Oh.
scared. But like other than that, there's not a scratch on him. My dad's complete like just giant gash open wound on him, and he's just like freaking the hell out. And he's like, "Oh, oh, okay, cool." And he just sits down. He's like, "All right, I'm fine." Luckily, like one of our neighbors was a registered nurse. So she just came over and treated him and helped him like get all stitched up, and then they went to the doctor and got him checked out, make sure he got his medicine and whatnot. But like, yeah. So like when I picture like barbarians and
Yeah.
like damage and dad shit, I was like, I've watched my
Like
father do
while they're in a
exactly this.
rage where they like are
Yeah,
resistant to the like they have
yeah.
the up
It's
what are
nuts.
the details of okay when you go into a rage what exactly happens
Uh,
let's
I know
see
it's half damage or resistance to all the
yeah
damage, but I can't think of what the feat is called at
resistance
the moment.
to bludgeoning piercing and slashing when you make an attack using strength and deal damage you gain a bonus to that damage advantage on strength checks you can't maintain concentration and you can't cast spells that feels right a dad in a rage
Yeah,
oh he is
yeah.
not doing anything else except for whatever it is he's raging about.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yes, that is correct. All right, sick. So we got 10 out of 10 for a barbarian as far as how daddy this class is. Now, moving
Yes.
along to Bard would be next alphabetically.
Mm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Um, so Bard was difficult for me to find a character reference for, but I did land on one that gave
All
me an excuse to
actors.
talk about one of my favorite characters, um, and probably one of my favorite actors also, but I don't know a lot about this actor's backstory. But for Bard, I went specifically with Chaucer from A Knight's Tale, played by Paul Bettany.
Ooh. Oh,
Yeah.
interesting. That's good. That's
Yeah, yeah,
good.
yeah. I love that movie, and Chaucer is a big part of the reason why I love
Yes.
that movie. So that's my character reference for Chaucer. Now, I don't know how daddy he is, although he does do a good job of like nurturing along uh, Will through the rest of the story arc and like helping create his tale and his legend that goes on throughout the story. So
Hmm.
I feel like there is some nurturing and development, less on a physical side and more on a, support and emotional side of things. Like he even, teaches him how to talk to I can't think of the love interest name right now, but Williams pursuing the maiden in the movie, and like Chaucer's like, no, you need to say this. He teaches him how to write the love
Hmm.
letter, blah 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 blah. So like yeah, those are all daddy things I think in my opinion.
Yeah, I think you'd be more on the if we're like had we're making it up as we go. This is not like the
Right.
fourth annual uh Daddy's Day ranking system. So if we had like a forking system that went like daddy and father, I would say like Barbarian went like 10 out of 10 on both scales.
Yes.
And Bard
Yes.
kind of leans more daddy than father. I feel like a Bard might be absent, not to
Fair.
stereotype or
Fair.
but
Fair.
like we're talking in generalizations in D&D classes, not calling out any specific folks or anybody who choose an artistic lifestyle. But if you're thinking of a D&D bard and what they're doing, I feel like they're causing shenanigans, they're out and about, they want to go and travel a lot and kind of be like on the wind and make lots of friends and lots of social. I mean,
Yeah.
famously famous actual play Critical Role, the main bard, he is his whole surprise kind of main arc is that he has a daughter that he wasn't there for and has to work really hard to kind of be there for. So I think it's fair to say he ranks low on a father scale and high on a daddy scale.
Yeah. Yes, I can see that. Absolutely. So if that's the case, are we putting this at are we putting Bard then? It's definitely not Tied level daddy.
No.
Are we talking all red level daddy, or we bring them all the way down to an Ognum?
Ognum is fully, I mean, he's not even going to a recital. I think the bard would show up for like maybe not regional competitions, but would show up to a national one.
Mm-hmm. But
Um,
I feel like the Bard would only show up to critique.
yeah, but he's still there.
That's fair. They are there. Yeah.
They still came. They're there to
Yeah.
talk about it. It kind of puts me in the middle, like a
Okay.
five
Yeah.
or
I'm
a
not. I'm not mad at it.
yeah.
So Allred Bard dad.
Mm, yeah, like yeah, about all red level. I'd say all red
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
is like 4, 5, 6 range.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Yeah,
And I think between Ognum and Allred we fall into the oh my god, what's Eldrin's dad's name? T Tyrael? Tyrael.
Tyrael. Yes,
I think that's where Tyrael's at.
yes, yes.
The available but emotionally disassociated
Yeah,
fathers, right?
like
Right.
loving enough to have taken him in, even not as his biological father.
Right.
Um, that isn't spoilers, right? That's something that's backstory. That's immediate backstory.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
But not like as emotionally available as maybe as you would want him to be. And
Yeah.
then who lives
Yeah.
in between Alred
Oh.
and Tied on that side of the scale?
Mm. Okay.
What's Baba's parents? What were Baba's
I
parents' names?
that's what I was gonna say. I was
The
gonna say,
ancestors.
can we put Zuide right there? I'm not sure because that was less of a father-son relationship and more of a found brotherhood.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but no. All right, so
I mean, not
what?
to
I I
repeat a
I.
joke, but it's like in a genuine sense, Elias kind of fits right in there. Kind of
I,
fits
I,
right
I
in.
don't. I don't know. I don't know if that's
I
the
don't know if the
case.
goons know any other dads.
Maybe not their own. Maybe not their own.
Okay, then who
Um, let's see. What other fathers have we come across? Um,
have we met any good father figures?
Roger the Codger. No. Ooh, no. I don't think we have.
Oh, a lot
A
of
lot of.
mother figures.
Yeah.
Hey,
I was about to say.
Turner. Interesting.
I almost said a spoiler and I was like, oh, caught it. Um,
Hmm.
but oh wait. Todd's.
Mm.
Yeah,
Mm.
that's out there.
Todd's
Is
father. He's
yeah, because that
not
was at my school.
present.
It was at my school. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's out there.
Yeah.
Todd's father. The yeah. I can't think of
Yeah.
his name right now.
The
But
the demon dad.
the yeah, Devil Daddy.
Yeah.
So he's only been nurturing to Todd thus far.
Yeah. Now that they've met, more so
Yeah.
than Aldrin,
All
Aldrin,
all all
Aldrin,
Allred, Allred,
Allred.
Allred. Yeah. Or
Yeah.
maybe we flip flop those two and put Todd's dad at the middle point and say
Yeah,
Ulrich's
like
maybe just a
he
little
didn't
bit
look for
better, but
him, but
not
then when
quite
he,
yet.
yeah,
Yeah.
when he showed up, then he was like, okay, cool, sure, I'm gonna, okay.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay. All right.
Sorry for anyone
So
watching who has never listened to the show.
yeah.
Or...
So we've got a 5-star dad spectrum right
yes,
now.
okay. We're figuring it out. So, so we've got uh
So one being I want to say
Ognum.
Turner, it's not Turner. Ognum, thank you.
It's from
Trying to make a list here. So we
Ognum
got one being Ognum, yeah.
to
Two being Eldrin's dad, Tyrael.
Tyrael. Yep,
Three being
that's the middle point.
Todd's father, whose name I
The
can't
demon
recall at
dad.
the moment.
Isn't it like
Todd's.
Mephistopheles or something? Isn't it just like like what kind of tiefling is he? Is that
I
not
don't like the fact that Todd's demon dad almost spells Todd.
Todd's demon dad?
Demon dad.
Yeah, Todd's
Yeah.
only demon dad. Todd's one demon dad.
Yeah.
So we'll call it Todd. Number 3 is Todd.
Yeah. All right. And then four being Allred.
4 is Allred. Fate's stepfather. And
Yeah.
5 is Tied,
Yeah.
who's
All right.
just a good
And
father to his biological kids.
yeah. No. They were found. They were orphans that they found.
They were then they brought them in. Okay, got it. Got
Yeah.
it. Learning.
All right. So we put Barbarian at
Mhm.
Tied.
Yeah.
We put
Yes, IV
Bard
6
at.
is Elias. It goes off the scale. Out of the 5-star system, if someone needs a 6-star, it is Elias.
No. I do not support this.
Perfect. Okay, and Bard we landed at Todd, right? At 3. I
Yes.
think that checks out.
Yes.
All right. Sick. Now it's moving on to Cleric. Oh yes.
Ooh.
We should go by. Okay, let's go through what a cleric is. What is a classic core traits of a cleric? Draw power from the realms of the gods and harness it to work miracles. Blessed by a deity, a pantheon, or other immortal entity. They can reach out for divine magic. Because their power is a divine gift, they typically associate themselves with temples Not every member of a temple or shrine is a cleric. Some priests are called to a simple life. Da da da. Let's see. Yes, so cleric is church dad. I mean, like that's just what that's just yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that's fair. So my character frame of reference on this gave me another reason to talk about another show that I love, show slash movie I love. Uh, if you've seen Firefly,
Familiar,
the
have not watched
character
it all.
Shepherd or Book, uh, the older mysterious gentleman who's kind of serves as like the moral compass for the crew. Um, and he calls himself a shepherd and or priest, and then they're constantly like, I don't think that's a priest, but they don't know. And he was awesome, and he was there, and he challenged them all the time on their moral beliefs. And then, he was one of my favorite characters, and I can't think of a character that Ron Glass has portrayed that I like more than Book. So, uh, that's where I stuck with cleric. But if you've got something better, also just Ron Glass being an older gentleman, especially in Firefly, black guy with gray dreads. I don't know another style that says daddy more than that.
Yeah, I think. I mean, in the podcast or maybe in various locations with the podcast crew, we've been talking about coming to America a lot. So Reverend Brown, Arsenio Hall,
Oh,
that's Reverend Brown in Coming to America. I don't know. That's just the only man I can think of for whatever
well played.
reason.
Okay.
That is not. That wouldn't be my general go-to pop culture reference for a cleric, but
No.
that is just all I have in my brain right now.
All right.
Mm.
Oh man. Okay. See, now I'm picturing Eddie Murphy as the preacher from Vampire to Brooklyn, telling everybody that evil is good.
Like what other? Um,
Trying to think other pop cultural clerics. Um,
the priest from Fleabag, Daddy.
Fleabag.
10 out of 10, off the Elias scale.
Oh no.
um, uh, what's his name?
Okay.
Andrew
Andrew
Scott.
Scott.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I have not watched this.
Oh, it is a fantastic show.
I've heard people at work talking about it, but I have not
Yeah.
checked this out yet. All right, all
Yes.
right. So then, where do our clerics fall on the daddy scale?
I would put them. I put them at a 4,
You think
which
so?
is an all red. Because I think potentially a cleric dad could be maybe one track mind, maybe supportive of maybe not all the life choices of their D&D child, but
Okay,
you
okay,
know.
yeah. A very loving, supporting, nurturing parent, but also with high expectations
Yeah.
on how you should or shouldn't live your life. Okay, I
Mm-hmm.
can see that.
Yeah.
So,
And again, not all clerics. Just you know, like if you've got like a um what are like some subclasses like a
forge cleric.
yeah, and then what if you want to go into like basket weaving? Like they're not gonna love that.
No son of mine's gonna be out here weaving baskets,
Yeah.
getting this forge and make this hammer sing. Ding.
A druid son that can't wear metal.
Oh,
Ooh, ooh.
a a Forge Master cleric with a druid son that doesn't like metalwork. Uh,
Yeah. Ooh, that's a character. We gotta write that down. That's some good D&D stuff. My dad is
oh
a forge master cleric, and I wanted to be a druid.
man.
And then
He's got
there's
a
like,
hip. He's literally oh my god. So now I'm picturing like a Forge Master cleric who's like working at like a factory building stuff, and then his son literally runs off to be a hippie druid.
yes,
It's
yes,
yeah, no, sorry. This is okay. I'm gonna stop now because I'm gonna put together one shot. All right,
yeah,
so anybody of the JTPs, this might pop up. I don't know how yet.
yeah.
It's early process, but this might pop up as a JTP. So just be prepared.
You know, we'd have maybe one person plays the cleric, another plays the druid, and it's like there's a tension. Dad. All right. So
I
now
got my
moving
haircut.
along, we've got what are there like 14 classes? Speaking of druids, druid
Hmm.
Halson BG3 daddy scale 47 out of 5 on both the daddy
No,
and the father scale. The end.
nothing, nothing else needs to be said.
Mhm.
All stars, thumbs ups, all tens. Drop mic.
Yep, they harness the magic of animals, plants, and the four elements. Revere nature above all. Let's see. They're concerned with the delicate ecological balance that sustains plant and animal life with the need for people to live in harmony with nature. I mean, forest daddy, animal daddy,
Hmm.
just like nurturing overall. That's some good stuff.
Hmm. Okay. So, as a cartoon enjoyer,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like you and I have had conversations around some of the similar media we've been taking in over time. I had a random thought today as I was going through this, and I realized Aang from Avatar is a druid. He is not a Way of the Four Elements monk. He is a druid. He is all about bringing balance to the world via nature, via the spirits, via everything. His power comes from his connection to the world and the spiritual connection that manages the world and its powers.
Hmm.
He is a druid.
Hmm.
And adult Aang, having had children, and there was a lot of people that got weirdly horny for adult Aang.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like both daddy and father scale high on just that particular character.
Hmm. Oh, interesting. I'm still. I agree on the daddy father scale. Um, druid versus monk is tough
It's tough
to
for
like
sure
reckon
because he
with.
does a lot of kung fu. I
Uh
get it.
huh.
But if you take
His
away the martial
motivations.
arts,
Yeah.
the rest of that is just straight druid.
Mhm. Yeah, and honest, I mean, a lot of times when I've had people play like Way of the Four Elements monk subclass, there's like a very popular homebrew adjustment because like the original rules people don't like, and it doesn't really give as much of that elemental connection as you would expect
Mm-hmm.
from that class. So I'm
Yep.
inclined to agree. Hmm, interesting. And he's,
Yeah.
I mean, Momo and Appa, like all of the good with
Speak with
animals.
animals.
Yeah, okay.
Animal friendship. He's got an animal companion.
Yeah.
He's a
Wow.
Beastmaster druid.
Hot, new, potentially controversial take. Aang is a druid. Nobody's here to tell us we're wrong.
Yeah. They would be wrong anyway. They just won't admit
All right. Fighter. Well,
it.
first off,
Okay.
just what a fighter
Go.
is. They are fighters rule many battlefields, questing knights, royal champions, elite soldiers, and hardened mercenaries. They share an unparalleled prowess with weapons and armor, well acquainted with death, both meeting it out, meting it out, and defying it. Um, Fighters master various weapon techniques, and a well equipped fighter always has the right tool at hand for any combat situation. Oh, that's like a Tim Allen. I know. That's probably more artificer. But I don't know why all of a sudden I just if you think like real like outside of fantasy world, like a fighter if a fighter is
Just pulling
ready to
all the
attack
things.
anything, yeah, it's just like tool belt, just all the like the choosing the right weapon, like great weapons mastery is just like over like the different
Ooh.
like drill bits and stuff.
Listen, I am so mad that you said that because it makes so much sense. Um, and now because previously I was like ready to rank fighter like at best like mid, right? Like, but now I'm like, is is fighter like is that are fighters T-Ed?
Yeah,
Fighters might be T-Ed
because they're kind of
because
like
you get a
so,
good
like
sword and shield
protector.
fighter.
Yeah,
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
that action surge. That's like a little like afternoon TV nap, and then they're ready to
Oh,
take the kids back out to the amusement park. They go to they're at Disney World for like the morning. They're like, guys, we gotta head back to the hotel and take a nap. But then let's go again.
oh my gosh. High con, high strength, or agility, depending on depending on your flavor of dad. Yeah, no, I could. This might be T-Ed.
Yeah, I
Fighters
agree.
might be T-Ed. Oh wow. Okay, I was not
Yeah.
prepared to rank them this high.
I mean, if you're thinking if you're going for the traditional like father energy of like
Hmm.
masculine, strong protector, it makes sense for barbarian and fighter to be up pretty high.
Yeah. See, I was all ready to just call them like meatheads and like
Tell me that.
unnurturing.
Oh, I mean, a good depending on the meathead. There's like full heart,
That's
empty brain, like no thoughts,
for
big
sure.
heart. Like that's a great dad.
Just a great big himbo dad. Yeah, I
Yeah,
got
just
it.
a himbo
Okay.
dad. Then that also scores high on the daddy scale. So like himbo father
Yeah.
also makes daddy. You just gotta look at the world in a specific way.
Okay. Fair.
Yeah.
Fair. Okay. Uh, I
Which,
was gonna throw Ned Stark, Sean Bean at this, but now,
ooh, good father.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I was gonna
Again,
like set it
empty
up like
head.
I was really gonna rank him high and then boom, and bring it back down, but
Mhm.
nope. Now, empty headed.
Oh, lack of head, missing head,
Oh.
bleeding heart, missing head, himbo. Right? Is that how it goes?
Oh. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. All
All
right. So we've
right.
got our
Up next.
next one.
So, well, we got Monk.
Monk. Monk
Uh,
description. Let's see. Rigorous combat training and mental discipline to align themselves with the multiverse and focus their internal reservoirs of power. Different monks conceptualize this power in various ways as breath, energy, life force, essence, or self. Whether channeled as a striking display of martial prowess or a subtler manifestation of defense and speed, this power infuses all that a monk does. They focus their internal power to create extraordinary, even supernatural effects. This, I mean, I know that there's like uh, the kind of cultural attachment of like an Asian background to the class monk in general and with martial arts and everything. So
mhm.
it's really giving generational trauma, um, emotionally unavailable, high expectations, so focused on themselves and their practice and what they've done with their lives, and that their children be like a direct reflection of themselves and follow the way of whatever discipline that they've chosen, and it's that way, and that's it.
So what I'm hearing from you is Goku is a terrible father, a la Gohan, Monk, Agnum.
Yeah,
Goku let his child get kidnapped by his brother, did die trying to save said son, but then when the opportunity to come back to save him, he just went out to do more fighting and more
yeah.
dying a couple times
They're
over.
gonna be the one that's way more that's gonna too easily make the decision to like save the world instead of like like the greater
Right?
good, as opposed
Right.
to
But
like
it's yeah.
yeah. Because I was thinking
And the
immediately Doctor Strange. Like I know it's
ooh.
called like the Sorcerer Supreme, but in my head it's more. I mean, it is like a monk order that he goes and trains with, but also just the way that, especially with that description and like the way that they do all the stuff and
Yeah.
everything. I feel like it's more in line when you're talking in terms of D&D. I feel like he makes more sense like as a monk, even though he's not
See,
doing hand to hand combat really. But
I always pictured Doctor Strange as an actual wizard more so than a sorcerer for
mm,
pretty much the exact same thing that you said, and the fact that they have to stop and study and learn all
yeah,
the spells that they cast. There's no innate magic. He didn't have that when he woke up.
that's
He
true.
had to go and spend a bunch of time. Well,
Mm-hmm.
not him because movie and time of runtime of film, but yeah, spend some
Mm-hmm.
time learning how to be magical. So yeah, no. But as far as the monk stuff goes, on that particular character, I
Yeah,
see it also.
yeah. That's just kind of like the when I'm trying to think of like if we're in a D&D world, who am I seeing like that is doing that? And if I imagine they have 3 kids at home, like are they choosing
Yeah,
to like? I mean, Rachel McAdams, come on, like, are you kidding me?
don't get me started.
Yeah. So monks, Ognum, low
Yeah, yeah,
on the father and the daddy scale.
yeah. All right. Up next, we'll have paladins.
Immediate vibes. I think high on the daddy scale. Um, Let me go
For
with
sure.
the core traits. Let's see. United by their oaths to stand against the forces of annihilation and corruption. Whether sworn before God's altar in a sacred glade before nature spirits, or in a moment of desperation and grief with the dead as the only witnesses, a paladin's oath is a powerful bond. It's a source of power that turns a devout warrior into a blessed champion. Why have I never thought about a paladin as being one of those grizzled old detectives that is out for revenge, like a Liam Neeson or something? That like has an like their wife died, and they have their oath of vengeance.
So I had two picks here. Although the Liam Neeson is nice, one of my train of thoughts was along the same lines. The first one that came to mind was Captain America, Anthony
Hmm.
Mackie, not Chris Evans.
Chris Evans is
Still saying,
definitely a paladin, though. Paladins are such good
yeah,
boys.
yeah,
They're like,
but not all paladins have to have good boy
yeah,
oaths,
yeah.
right? And so because of that fact, I had another character came to mind that I thought served both the paladin trope, but also was a great father.
Mm-hmm.
Denzel Washington's character in Man on Fire.
Oh, that's good. That's
Yeah,
good. Immediately, I was like,
yeah, yeah.
training day.
No.
Now it makes sense.
I can't think of the character's name, but I just remember watching that movie and how like he just like was like, I'm going through
He took care of
both
that little
hell
white
and
girl.
high water. I am taking
Yeah.
care of this girl.
Uh-huh.
Everybody else will die. So yeah, but so same thing with
Yeah.
the not Viggo Mortensen.
Liam
Why am I
Neeson.
just blanking on the man? Liam Neeson.
Yeah.
That's my shit. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good. Man on Fire. Ooh, and that if you just took Man on Fire and D&D flavored it like where it like a man on fire like in like armor or something or like his blade,
Yeah,
oh, that'd be so sick.
yeah. I'm thinking Oath of Vengeance Paladin
Yeah.
for him. Yeah.
That's so cool. I fully agree. Um where would you put them on the scale? 1 to 5.
Uh, um. So I feel like they should be high,
Mhm.
but also I feel like a good paladin that's truly committed to his oath will find himself at odds between his commitment
Mhm.
to his oath and his commitment to his family from
Yeah,
time to time,
I
which
agree.
will limit him from ever being a great father, you
Yeah.
know? So I think your average paladin is probably at like Todd level,
Mhm.
and like really really good paladins who are like dedicated to the fatherhood of the
Mhm.
craft, right? To truly being the party dad could
Yeah.
could reach Allred level.
Yeah, I could see that. So they're like a Todd and a half,
Yeah,
like on the scale. I agree.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
I want to see this out visually. Hopefully, I remember these.
yeah.
Chart it
I,
on the
I'm
line.
I'm making notes of it here.
Okay, perfect. All right, what's our next one?
We got Ranger up next.
Okay, so D&D's description of a ranger. Far from bustling cities, amid the trees of trackless forests and across wide plains, rangers keep their unending watch in the wilderness. Rangers learn to track their quarry as a predator does, moving stealthily through the wilds and hiding themselves in brush and rubble. Thanks to their connection with nature, rangers can also cast spells and harness primal powers of the wilderness. A ranger's talents and magic are honed with deadly focus to protect the world from the ravages of monsters and tyrants. I just got really Last of Us vibes. Like immediately just thought of like a Pedro Pascal type or any of those
Okay.
like types of like end of the world and it's like a dad and their kid. Like that's a
Yeah,
ranger. They're just like in the woods and they're like taking care of their kid, like and teaching them how to like how to do stuff just in case something happens to them.
for sure. I couldn't think of a good reference for Ranger. I could not. So I actually really like that because now it's giving me. It's reminding me of the Quiet Place, played by
Yeah. John Krasinski,
Oh my,
Emily
thank you,
Blunt.
John Krasinski.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So yeah, I could absolutely see that.
any post-apocalyptic thing that's got like a father figure that's like trying to get you like or like
Oh, Will Smith in I Am Legend.
yes, yeah, that's good.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That. So okay. So definitely high on father,
Mm-hmm.
but how are we feeling about Rangers on daddy?
I mean, when it comes to our ranger, he's canonically the hottest one of the group with a very popular social media presence. So arguably,
Okay.
the data's there.
Okay.
So
We have the stats to back this up.
yeah, we
So
do.
it sounds like Rangers are ending up TN.
Wild to
I
be
don't
to rank rangers at the top of any sort of scale.
anything,
At any
right?
scale.
But
Wild.
but
Also
apparently
wild
you got
because our scale includes a ranger. Tyrael is a ranger. And he's number 2 on our 1 to
true.
5 scale.
But he's a terrible ranger. Well, he's not a terrible
He's
ranger.
a great
He is a
ranger.
terrible
He's a
father.
terrible father.
Terrible father. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
Hmm.
shit.
It'll be the one thing that Eldrin's better at than his father.
Yeah. Eldrin would be a great. Eldrin's a great dad. That's Eldrin
He
does give dad energy in the group.
he does.
Mm-hmm.
It's everybody projects like it's Baba, but it's really Eldrin.
Yeah.
Baba's really more of the stoic uncle that just kind of comes through
Yeah.
and tells everybody how they suck. Eldrin's
Yep.
out there shepherding us all around all the
Mm-hmm.
time.
Yeah. Yeah. Baba ditched us as soon as we have too many shenanigans. He's like, I'm going home. And he looks at Eldrin and he's like, these are your kids. I don't have to bring them home with me. I'm going to go.
At least me, you, and Todd as Yakko, Wacko, and Dot running around.
Yeah. Yes.
Oh, okay, so yeah,
Yeah.
Rangers, T Ed.
Wow.
Who'd
What a
have thought?
surprise. What I can't imagine what if anybody, which I don't think they are. I don't think any of the missing goons are watching this, but they would throw a fit.
Oh, for sure. But this is like I said.
Yeah.
I As soon as I realized that they were leaving the two of us alone to do this,
Yeah.
unhinged things were happening and nobody could stop it.
Yeah.
That's what you guys for leaving the kids unsupervised.
Yep. What we say goes, and we are correct, and they are wrong.
Right.
Yes. Yes.
All right. Up next, Rogue.
This one's gonna be tricky. All right, Rogue. They rely on cunning, stealth, and their foes' vulnerabilities to get the upper hand in any situation. They have a knack for finding the solution to just about any problem. A few even learn magical tricks to supplement their other abilities. Many rogues focus on stealth and deception, while others refine skills that help them in a dungeon environment, such as climbing, finding and disarming traps, and opening locks. In combat, rogues prioritize subtle strikes over brute strength. They would rather make one precise strike than wear an opponent down with a barrage of blows.
Hmm.
So that they give me, and thinking of a rogue as a father, I immediately think of like the really cool absent dad. Like every time he shows up, he's doing cool stuff. His job is cool. He's got presence. He's teaching magic tricks. He's like looks cool. Swoops into town. It's like every single mom, every co-parenting mom's nightmare is like this dad that's just so flashy, was the worst partner of all time, the worst husband if they ever were a husband. But then the
Yeah.
kid loves them until they're totally like emotionally wrecked as an adult and hate them. But like they love them as a
Yes.
kid and they're just like all this pomp and circumstance is great and they're so sick and like mom just wants me to brush my teeth. But like rogue daddy is just like wants to just like have me climb the side of a building.
Every 90s sitcom had at least one child with that dad's relationship.
Yes.
I think I can't remember somebody on Roseanne. I think it was like the one of the daughter's boyfriend had like the motorcycle dad who would pop back up and be all cool, and then he'd get all butter,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, it was the whole thing. And then like specifically as you were giving that whole description, all I could picture is that scene from Fresh Prince of Bel Air when Willow's like getting ready to like leave with his dad, and his
Oh,
dad's like, "Oh, you know how it is, baby."
oh,
Which that scene makes me cry every time I see it.
yes. I got
It's
chills.
so
I got
good.
chills.
It's so good every time.
Oh, and Uncle Phil's just there as what he's like a paladin or like
Yes.
he's just oh
Which will happen to walk in right before Uncle Phil went to beat his ass anyway for knowing he was about to ditch him.
oh.
It was so that whole scene's so good. But yeah, no, rogues, Ognum, like below Ognum, is there a point to put like I know that they're supposed to be like Ognum's supposed to be the worst, but I don't know like how do we get if we make it like actually Todd, is that how do we
Yeah, cuz okay, so who did we put at Ognum level already?
Monk at the
Monk.
moment.
So I think a monk is so detached. I think the rogue genuinely loves their kid. They just don't know how to be a good dad, a good father. Like
Ooh, that
they're
might be
they're
a
good
better
at it for
genre.
like a small amount of time, but like need to then keep going and are kind of like if there are boundaries, they could have like a decent relationship, understanding that they're not like as a like a parent and child relationship, like if child understands like okay, I'm not going to be getting the support and like the kind of parental presence that I want from this person, but I don't hate
Right.
that they're my dad. Um they always come and visit me when they come into town. I'm not going to expect him to like know about all of the things, show up on time, sort of thing, but I don't need to cut him out of
Right.
my life. I could see a monk dad like being a problem, where you just kind of like,
Yeah.
that's my biological, they contributed to my DNA, but I don't really talk with them. I think a rogue, because of that charisma, is more likely to maybe still be in the kid's
Yeah.
life.
Okay. All right. You've sold me.
You know?
You've sold me.
That's it might
So
say a
we can
lot
give
about just I don't know. Just, it's not. I'm not saying it's
but
great, but it's better, less worse.
so low for sure on father scale,
Mm-hmm.
but where do we put Rogue on daddy scale?
They're all. I feel like on daddy scale, all the way up, because that's like like daddy's home, and then he's gone. And then, like when he's there, he's daddy, but he doesn't know how to be a father. He's everyone's favorite daddy, not a father.
Huh, okay. All right.
That's
All
my
right.
that's my opinion. So for me, it lands him kind of in the Todd range at like where it could go either way because that's also again generalizing and putting
Yeah.
all of that on. You could have someone that does show up or that takes the kid with them on all these adventures. But I
You
think
mean
it
all the
leans more.
robberies? Oh,
Yeah.
what if you get the dad that's also using the child as a pawn in all their evil schemes,
Ooh.
and the child just thinks they're out having fun, and really the dad's setting the kid up for the fall every time.
Ooh. And the job comes first. Ugh.
Yeah, of course. The job always comes first. The
Yeah.
job in the
And they're always
store.
just like one
Every
last
time.
job, one last job.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Putting the
Yeah.
kid in danger of being killed. Kid gets captured by rival gang or gets taken by the police or whatever, and they're just like, you'll be fine. You did a year in juvie. You're good. You're good. You got back out. Now we've got all this stuff. You did that bid for me.
Yeah. Okay. Who was number two? Who was on the two? Was that Tyrael?
Tyrael.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that feels right.
Okay. All right. So now
Hmm.
we've got one at least one class on each ranking so
Yeah.
far.
All right. Sorcerer
Okay.
written into our spellcasters here. So Sorcerers. They wield innate magic that is stamped into their being. Some sorcerers can't name the origin of their power, while others trace it to strange events in their personal or family history. The blessing of a dragon, or a dryad at a baby's birth, or the strike of lightning from a clear sky might spark a sorcerer's gift. So too might the gift of a deity, exposure to the strange magic of another plane of existence, or a glimpse into the inner workings of reality. Whatever the origin, the result is an indelible mark on the sorcerer, a churning magic that can be passed down through generations. Sorcerers don't learn magic, the raw ruling power of magic is part of them. The essential art of a sorcerer is learning to harness and channel that innate magic, allowing them to discover new and staggering ways to unleash their power. Sorcerers are rare. Some family lines produce exactly one sorcerer in every generation, but most of the time the talents of sorcery appear as a fluke. People who have this magical power soon discover that it doesn't like to stay quiet. Interesting. I didn't know about that sorcerers are rare thing in the D&D lore about it like potentially being a one sorcerer in every generation.
Right.
That's something I didn't know.
Yeah, yeah. And so that's why I was gonna say that I think sorcerers probably come off as a lower tier father, because you're talking about a person that has been unfortunately born into a situation of privilege
Mm-hmm.
and then not knowing how to walk life without that, not to their own fault, just not, they never experienced how to,
They're the nepo
survive
babies of
without that
magic.
power.
Yeah.
Right,
Mm-hmm.
and so then for you to then have a child that isn't in that same situation, how do you teach that person how to not struggle,
Mm-hmm.
So probably not the greatest of fathers.
Mm-hmm.
You've been getting on your entire life through sheer charisma and good fortune, basically.
Feels kind of like an RDJ Sherlock Holmes, just like vibes
Ooh.
wise, you know. Like
Okay.
or I'm
Okay.
thinking like even Benedict Cumberbatch Sherlock Holmes, or anybody like that really high IQ, just a brain that's like once in a lifetime sort of thing that sees everything and like nobody else understands it, and they're very like self-centered in like all the things that they can do, and they can't really communicate like how it is they do those things a lot of time, or they don't want to take the time because it's like, why don't you understand this? Like it's so easy, it's so obvious.
See, for me, I went with Anakin Skywalker slash Darth Vader being my sorcerer character reference. Born into
Oh,
tremendous power, being the chosen one of the Force, just able to immediately do everything and being constantly, quote unquote, held back by those around who don't understand that he's just the shit. And then, once he has to try and use his words and not just overwhelm everything with brute force, he rages out and, murders a bunch of children. Terrible father. And then he abandons his own children after murdering his wife. Bad dad. Like, just all the way around, sorcerers to me just scream
and killed a bunch of
bad,
other
bad,
kids.
bad. Yeah, yeah. So,
Ooh, yeah, I could see that as a bad dad. Yeah, as much as I love a sorcerer. I would be I prefer sorcerers over wizards, and I'm seeing Ivy in the chat talking about sorcerers being the cool wizard. But I mean, we're not at wizard yet, but I'm feeling like a sorcerer would be not a worse dad.
Ivy, I see you. Yes, Vader does save Luke's life after trying to kill him, and after trying to blow up his daughter's planet.
Luke in therapy. Well, he saved my
Right.
life.
He also cut off Luke's hand. So, I don't. And I think the only reason he actually tried to save Luke is because he just wanted Luke to join him so he could kill his boss. So it was really more still about him than it was really about saving Luke, until he realized that, okay, I'm still gonna die in the trying to kill my boss with my son thing. So, 1 point at best. Two points at best. It's really just that's
Yeah,
a
in
one
the
star
bucket of
dad.
all of the minus points.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of a what my it's interesting, rather than just like trying to think of a pop culture reference for the class just in general, but to think of it as specifically a father that is this class. Like, what is sorcerer, like a dad sorcerer, like who is that, is so
Yeah.
different from just like like a general uh, assignment of the class, and I'm trying to think if there's like a good equivalent, like a good example, like what would a strong father figure sorcerer look like? And everyone I think of when I'm trying to think of magic and father figure, they're all wizards. They're all learned and teaching and passing down knowledge. They're father figures that are mentors and teachers. There's no way that a sorcerer would do that. They're
No, they
not going to be
can't. They can't.
nurturing.
They cannot compare. There's no way.
Yeah.
They're
No.
they're the cool uncles that can do
Yeah.
some. They do the same shit, but they do it just with a little bit more flair, and so
Mhm.
it looks doper whenever the uncle does it. But you're not me, man.
Homelander. Sorry. Sorry.
I mean not the Homelander.
Oh, okay. So I think if you're just saying that that's a
Oh,
sorcerer dad
okay.
and not saying
Sorcerer
that's a
dad.
good
Okay.
example of a dad, that's that was what was alarming.
Okay. Uh,
I was about to say I could potentially see an arc for a sorcerer being like a, kind of a rom com. This is such a specific rom com that came to my mind, but like having like a later in life godfather situation where like their best friend who was the responsible one died and they step up because they're like the godparent to a child, and so they have to take the child in and they're like, I don't know how to be a dad, and figures it out in their own way and then ends up being a really great dad, but it takes like a lot of learning. And I think that the movie I'm thinking of is Life as We Know It with Josh Duhamel and Katherine Heigl, I think. But that's like the arc that I see. If a sorcerer is going to be a father, I feel like they fell into it by accident, or they like I don't think they would shirk their responsibility if it was like thrust upon them. But I don't think they would be choosing to go be a good dad. Does that make sense?
right. So Ivy, I think okay. So I you kind of had me with the Santa Claus, but I think the Santa
Mm.
Claus actually turns into more of a paladin, doesn't he?
Ah.
Really?
Mm-hmm. He's got like an oath or a
Yeah,
warlock.
that he
He's
had
got
like
some kind
the
of
it's
pact.
yeah it's literally yeah he's got a pact with the yeah
Yeah.
with the Santa Claus overlord.
Yeah.
Wow, yeah, Santa Claus is a warlock. Jesus. Okay, we're gonna have to unpack that later.
Yeah. Yeah.
Make a note for that for the Christmas special.
Mm-hmm. So we're putting sorcerer at are they in Tyrael range? I don't know if they
I
fall to, do they fall to Ognum?
I got him in Ognum.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of good scenarios where your sorcerer becomes a good dad. Like it's possible through like strength of
Yeah.
will and perseverance, maybe.
That's probably more based on the
I think
character as opposed to their class.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. But that sorcerer loadout does not point itself towards a great father character.
Yeah. I agree. Okay. Well, they've got Ognum rank. Ivy and anti Ognum would be a really, really great father. All
All right.
right.
So up next is the warlock.
Warlock. All right. So a warlock is. Um, so they've got a quest for knowledge that lies hidden in the fabric of the multiverse. Wow, Santa Claus. They often begin their search for magical power by delving into tomes of forbidden lore, dabbling in invocations meant to attract the power of extraplanar beings, or seeking places of power. In no time, each warlock is drawn into a binding pact with a powerful patron, drawing on the ancient knowledge of beings such as angels, archfey, demons, blah blah blah. Warlocks view their patrons as resources, as means to the end of achieving magical power. Some warlocks respect, revere, or even love their patrons. Some serve their patrons grudgingly, and some seek to undermine their patrons even as they wield the power their patrons have given them. Once a pact is made, a warlock's thirst for knowledge and power can't be slaked with mere study. Most warlocks spend their days pursuing greater power and deeper knowledge, which typically means some kind of adventure. Hmm. That for a second made me consider Santa being a patron and the elves being warlocks, but I think that the elves are more like his, um, what do you call it? Like not golems, but like, not unseen servants, but like,
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Familiars, not
Yeah,
familiars.
homunculi kind of
Sure,
ish, like born
yeah,
of him. Um,
got you.
but
So
I
does that
do
mean,
think that we
yeah,
need
that
more Christmas stories where elves plan an uprising. I don't know how many. I don't know if we have any like elf coup Christmas stories. Like an elf that
hmm,
wants to be Santa, that like in like a nefarious way.
what what if Santa was the elf that rose up and took over?
He could have been.
Like there was another creature previously that had
Mm-hmm.
even greater power. There was an elf uprising, and one elf stole the mantle, and now I run this,
Yeah,
and nobody knows any better. Oh,
yeah. And then
sorry.
they become a part of the
Again,
problem.
for the
They,
Christmas special.
yeah. Ooh, that's good.
All right, all
Yeah.
right, all
But
right.
that would still, I feel like that would still make them a Santa, a warlock, like that he made a pact to do that, to like overthrow Santa. That he sought, this elf sought a higher, or overthrow whatever the leader was, leader elf, and they like sought greater
Ivy
power.
says Krampus. It was originally Krampus, and the elves stole it from Krampus, and now we got
Ooh.
Santa.
Ooh, that's good. Ooh.
That's good, Ivy.
That's very good. That's very good. Also, yes, Elias is
Uh,
a warlock, I think.
no, he's a sorcerer.
He's a sorcerer? Oh, okay.
That's why he pisses Fate off.
Ah, gotcha. Yeah, Krampus. Oh, Krampus is a patron. Oh, to play a warlock. Oh my gosh, could you imagine? Campaign 2. My name is Nikki. My patron is this goat man. I am very good at giving gifts. There's one day every year that I have to go and I have some things I need to do and I leave the party.
I am gone for the next 24 hours. Ask me no questions.
Yeah.
I will be back.
Yeah.
And I will be very heavy and tired.
Yeah. All the magic has like jingling bells like every time it's cast. Oh my gosh. Just a huge
That'd be
reveal at the
great.
end. Yes. I'm Santa Claus.
It was me all along. Yeah, we know. You kept eating all the cookies.
Oh my gosh. Oh,
Okay.
that's
So
the Santa origin story we need.
so my thing about warlocks is that they don't really give dad vibes to me. They give more child vibes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like the patron is really the dad in that relationship,
Mm-hmm.
or the parental figure in that
Yeah.
relationship. So it's hard for somebody who's already in that to then turn around, unless I guess like the patron would be like the grandparent,
Mm.
and then the dad, and then maybe. But I don't see a lot of warlocks tend to be like trying to teach the ways, unless you've got like the pyramid scheme warlock where I get more power by bringing more people to worship the patron. So maybe then, what the heck? Oh, sorry, my child just came in the
Mm.
room.
Is there? Hold on, 2 seconds. I feel like I heard rain or something. I need to. If there's gonna be a storm tonight, my dog needs to be drugged. No. Okay. We're good.
Yeah,
uh,
the
I feel
door
like
opening made me think that there was raining currently because my dog will come knock the door down and get in here whenever it's raining.
what I'm thinking is that uh, it reminds me of like not necessarily Lara's dad, like Lara Croft Tomb Raider, but I'm thinking of like a they're an event like the trope of an adventure story where the kid like their dad went crazy or like left the family because they were so obsessed with finding an artifact or doing some kind of quest like later in life. I feel like a warlock is like a late in life dad, like
Okay.
like an older dad maybe that had their kid, but they were just like really rich, so the kid was always taken care of by nannies and stuff while they went off and like focused on work and their like research.
Got you.
And
Okay.
that's kind of like when I was reading that description, that was the immediate like trope or um media thing that kind of came to mind. I'm just picturing a huge manor and like an office that's off limits, a kid like running around by themselves that really looks up to their dad and wants to carry on their legacy, but they never really knew their dad because they were out. He was always off in search of Atlantis or like, you know.
Right. So I guess my problem with warlocks is that they give the same conflicted emotional availability as the paladins, with none of the paladin benefits of the lay on hands for the caring nurturing side of things. Like, could you get the ability to cure wounds and things like that? But no, really, you've got more of like a suspicious father. Your father can see, with like true sight, so he can see when you're sneaking out of the house and like that, and can talk to fiends and stuff like that. So
Mm-hmm.
it, it, it's hard for me to rank cool dad for sure. He's mysterious. He's enigmatic. The people around your father all seem to have some sort of reverence to him, and then because you're their child, then
Mm-hmm.
you get those extra little cool points around. But I can't see a warlock being a great father.
I'm thinking
So
like
I feel like they're
Jafar kind of gives Warlock vibes.
yeah, yeah,
Like making like getting the genie's bottle in order to get power, you know, like from an artifact.
yeah,
I
yeah.
keep
I can
thinking
see
like kind
that.
of Disney villain gives me it's like there's a thing that they have to get
Shadow
after and
Man,
get more power. Oh yeah, yeah.
who literally has friends in
Mm-hmm.
how'd the lyric go? I got friends
Dark,
in low places, something. No, not low places.
dark,
I forget how the lyric goes.
dark,
Dark places, something like that.
spooky, bad. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if it's Ognum level though. I feel like maybe they're not.
Friends on the other side. That's what it was.
The
I
other
got friends
side.
on the other side.
I feel like uh, that them having a kid would be very intentional, and that they would be molding them and teaching them, shaping them for like to take over the nasty evil empire.
Mm.
So like, I think on now that I'm thinking about that, I'm thinking of like imagine a warlock dad with like an evil kid, like it's a legacy of evil, and that they
Mm.
teach them. It's like maybe they're not great people, but maybe he's a great dad.
The Adams family.
Gomez is a fantastic father.
Right,
And they're not
right. But
evil,
I'm
they're
just
just
saying, like,
goth.
painting the picture. They are not evil. That is true.
What's like an evil legacy? Like a I just keep I haven't
Doctor
watched any of them,
Doofenshmirtz.
but you have kids. Have you watched any of the Descendants? I'm assuming that's what that is.
No,
No. I've
no.
never seen any of them either.
Trying to think.
Ivy's screaming in the chat Tyrael as a warlock
Uh,
dad. Um we cannot
ooh.
comment any further on that issue. Moving along.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. Gotta.
um, hmm,
But you might be onto something, or you might not be.
or he might not be. There is so maybe somebody related. It just there's something there.
Hmm. What?
But I would, but that does put it like I do agree that it's at Tyrael level.
Yeah, yeah. I think. Yeah, I almost want to give him Todd
Hmm?
level, but yeah, no. I think Tyrael's really the right spot to put him
Hmm.
at. There's
Yeah, because I think
they're
ultimately
not the worst of the worst.
they'll pick getting power for themselves over for their
Yeah,
child. Yeah.
yeah. So it's the rogue and the warlock with
Ra's
just two
al
different
Ghul.
points.
Oh,
What?
that's my cousin in the
Ooh,
chat. Hi.
nice. But yeah, no. But I'll say the warlock and the rogue, similar mindsets of committed to the job, right? Got to get that either that trinket or that power at all costs. And
Yeah.
sometimes my child might be, ooh, ooh, hey, did my warlock sell their child's soul for power? Type beat. So yeah, man, I think Tyrael is the right category to put that in.
Yeah. I agree.
which brings us to finally the wizards.
Fortunately, I think might be pretty decent deaths.
Let's be frank. Well, hold on before we get all the way into it. I guess we got to give the wizard description.
Oh, yes. Wizard description. A wizard. They're defined by their exhaustive study of magic's inner workings. They cast spells of explosive fire, arcing lightning, subtle deception, and spectacular transformations. Their magic conjures monsters from other planes of existence, glimpses the future, or forms protective barriers. Their mightiest spells change one substance into another, call meteors from the sky, or open portals to other worlds. Um, they most share a scholarly approach to magic. They examine the theoretical underpinnings of magic, particularly the categorization of spells into schools of magic. Blah, blah, blah. Let's see. The closest a wizard is likely to come to an ordinary life is working as a sage or a lecturer. Other wizards sell their services as advisors, serve in military forces, or pursue lives of crime or domination. But the lure of knowledge calls even the most unadventurous wizards from the safety of their libraries and laboratories and into crumbling ruins and lost cities. I mean, there's the classic. There's Dumbledore. There's Merlin. There's um, Gandalf.
I went offbeat with my wizard. Um, I know we were talking about Doctor Strange, but I had a different comic book character that I thought was always a cool wizard, which is Constantine.
Huh. As a wizard?
Who I have him as a wizard because he has to go and learn like the dark arts to be able to do all of
That's true. You just carry
his
a book
magic
around.
is more like hoodoo, voodoo, and spiritual and
Mm-hmm.
ancestral type linked, related more to the demons and
Yeah.
devil and angels and all that. So, but still stuff that he had to go and learn. So
Yeah.
I've always liked that
Interesting.
character, and then also the portrayal of him by Keanu Reeves in the
Mm-hmm.
Constantine movie. So then
And
you've
the show
got
was
your
pretty good too.
character. The show was pretty good,
Mm-hmm.
but also I don't think anybody looks at Keanu Reeves and doesn't say daddy.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Right.
Oh,
So
high on the daddy
yeah,
scale. I think father lower in the. They're really
but
good
not
father
much.
figures. It's like
Yeah,
mentors
yeah,
that will give it the classic Dumbledore, like, here's a vague thing. I knew everything all along, but you, 11-year-old child, are going to deal with all this trauma, and, and you figure it out. And same thing with Gandalf, where he's like, oh, like, hello, I'm gonna tell you a couple things, and then goodbye. I mean, I feel like Merlin did the same thing too. He's like, just you got the sword out of the rock, and woohoo,
yep,
you
yep,
know.
but the thing is, they're so powerful that they can give you that freedom
Mm-hmm.
to always be in a safe place to learn about the world, which is how they operate. They're like, okay, I've got to take care of you, but you don't need me on top of you, watching you all the time. I can see you from everywhere. I can scry and see
Yeah.
what the hell you're doing
I always
from
know
where the
if
hell
you're
ever.
just like I've given you the
Yeah,
tools and the not. Ah, it's a Montessori
I've
dad.
had, yeah,
Shit.
but but also as like if you picture like a more modern wizard dad. So this is a dad who's probably like a teacher at the high school.
Mm,
He's not a big swole buff guy.
yeah.
He's not a football coach. But anytime anybody pops off, I can just polymorph whoever the fuck is fucking with my child,
Mm,
right? And football coach get loud if you want to. I'll fireball your entire locker room. What are
mm,
we talking about? So like
yeah.
no, about to say you can't my kids are gonna be great, not gonna be great, but they're gonna be well taken care of because I have prepared for every contingency. You're talking about the type of dads who are going to, when they know they're having kids, they're going to be reading more books
Mm-hmm.
about child rearing, about changing diapers,
Yeah.
about preparing bottles and everything else. These are well studied men who are preparing themselves for every possible contingency and everything that could go wrong.
Yeah.
And
The
that's
emotional connection might not come naturally, but they're trying really hard.
really hard,
Yeah.
really hard, because they just want to be good at everything.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
There's no better dads than the wizard dads.
Hmm. I kind of like putting him on the Tiad level because it shows kind of the spectrum of dad. Like it's because it is all about protection and taking care of and like and using all of your strength, but there's like strength comes in different forms. It's more
For
of just
sure.
like it's about how you use your skills to protect those around you. Hmm.
And nobody uses those skills more versatilely than a good wizard.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Well,
agree.
Jazz, there is the Elias level that a wizard cannot reach. You get out of here, Ivy. You get out of here with this Elias. Let's talk. Listen, listen. A good wizard dad won't fireball your bully, but they'll probably firebolt and or burning hands a group of bullies if necessary.
Yeah.
But a fireball's always in a back pocket, just in case. You
A
know?
wizard dad's like, I know how to use fireball, but this is not the situation for it. And I'm like, Dad, really? Come on.
Yeah. Yeah. No. No. Got to teach your children restraint. A really good wizard dad will cast a delayed fireball just to scare the entire community and remind them of who they're fucking with and then counterspell themselves.
so the wait, so the fireball begins to form, then they counterspell it.
Yeah. Just to let everybody know.
That's two
I
spell
listen,
slots. Yeah.
for my kids,
Hmm.
what's three?
Yeah. But that's like in the evening, right? Like right before you go to bed.
I mean, just whatever.
yeah.
I doubt I'm going to have any more problems throughout the day after I've almost fireballed the neighborhood. So,
Yeah.
whatever.
No, that's true. Okay. I think I'll give a wizard a Tied slot.
Yeah.
I guess technically our last one, because we skipped it up top, was Artificer.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, let's read the description. Again, we've got an Artificer on the scale. Ognum at the one slot.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
oh, I'm not logged into D&D Beyond, and it's additional content. Hold on.
Let's
I'm logged in over here. Okay, Artificer. An artificer. Oop. Masters of invention. Artificers use ingenuity and magic to unlock extraordinary capabilities in objects. They see magic as a complex system waiting to be decoded and then harness it in their spells and inventions. You can find everything you need to play one of these inventors, and then artificers use a variety of tools to channel their arcane power. They might use alchemist supplies to create a potent elixir, calligrapher's supplies to inscribe a sigil of power, or tinkerer's tools to craft a temporary charm. The magic of artificers is tied to their tools and their talents, and few other characters can produce the right tool for a job as well as an artificer.
Here's your Tim the Toolman
Yeah.
Taylor.
Yeah. Tinkering away.
Also, Bob the Builder.
Does Bob the Builder have children?
Uh,
He has a wife, right? I think.
I don't know.
Or is he young? Is he like in his 20s? How old is Bob the Builder? This is important.
Bob the Builder. Children?
He does not have an age. Come on.
Um,
AI, you can figure it out. or
no.
Reddit. Somebody.
Bob the Builder.
Robert.
Wife?
In Bob the in the Bob the Builder wiki fandom. Oh, Robert. No, this is Bob the
Yeah.
Builder's dad. Okay.
He does have a wife named Wendy,
Oh,
but
wow.
there's no mention of children.
Bob the Builder's dad, Robert Bob the Beast Sr., built most of
Mm-hmm.
Bobsville. Interesting.
Huh.
Anyway. It doesn't look like he has children. But look at,
At
do you
least
think
not
he's
yet.
like in his 30s or in his 20s?
Don't make me lie to you, Tori. Fortunately, for me anyway, my children didn't really watch Bob the Builder. lots of Dora and Diego, and the Backyardigans.
What is the average age of a contractor? Sorry, I've just latched on to figuring out how old Bob Builder likely is. The median age of construction workers in the U.S. is 42. I'm sure this is like a huge range.
Median.
So I feel like Bob might be like 34. We can move on.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
I just needed an answer. Okay.
Oh, Tony Stark, artificer,
Mm?
the biggest tinkerer of all, right?
And decent dad. Not great
Decent dad
dad.
indeed.
Decent dad. Love
He
you
did
5,000? 2,000?
3,000.
3,000.
I love you 3,000.
Mm-hmm.
He did invent time travel in order to save the world and his daughter.
Yeah.
That's solid dadding right there.
Yeah. I think Ognum takes the very extreme end of everything is to be tinkered with and is an experiment, while maybe
Mm,
Artificer in general, the class, might have a little more connection to humans and
for
interpersonal
sure.
relationships.
Okay, okay, I can see that. Yeah, because the resident artificer as it is definitely not a great dad. It's not the worst because he does care for his own children,
Mm-hmm.
but with his found family, he gives zero Fs. Um,
Does care just
so
in a twisted way, maybe in like
in a very Ognum
a
way,
very kind of
yeah,
manipulative, but not necessarily evil, just
yeah,
self-serving. You know, we've all there's plenty of great parents that are kind of narcissistic, or you know, or
yeah.
like kind of where it's like, oh, oh,
I mean, what's the princess with the long hair in Rapunzel?
mm-hmm.
The mother took great care of Rapunzel for a really long time
Yeah,
in order to keep herself young forever.
yeah.
So not sure.
Ooh, this
Um,
is getting into late. I'm like, who? Like, what is a parent? Hey, you're the one that's actually a dad.
hey, I find myself being somewhere between the fighter and the wizard personally, my style. Not quite either one. I'm more of
Oh,
an
in
eldritch
between the two
knight.
level, two 5 out of 5 stars.
I mean, listen. I just know my parenting
Yeah.
style. I uh I get random bursts of energy and get real
Mhm.
active, and outside of that, I'm dropping knowledge constantly, even when they don't want it.
Yeah.
And they roll their eyes a lot, and they're like, "Oh my God, here's another." Like everything doesn't have to be a lesson, Dad. Yes, yes, it does. So that's how I get down, and I just that like say what you will.
Yeah.
Mostly it's about trying to make sure my kids don't make the same mistakes I did.
Yeah, right. So for Artificer in general, I mean, I also growing up for me, like I would classify my own dad as an artificer, and it was more of like fun of like here's the cool like I'm helping you on all your school projects. We're going above and beyond on like this project because we're going to be working in my workshop. I've got all the tools. Teach you how to hold the flashlight and how what all these things are called. So that there's that kind of artificer too. So I feel like
Right.
there's also like a and think of like gnome artificers. I feel like very family centric, with just like a but teaching all little kids just all their little tools and knickknacks and stuff.
I'm sorry. You hit the hold the flashlight moment for me, and like now I have to. Now I'm ready to throw artifices all the way to the top of the list.
Yeah, all of
Second ago, I was like,
yeah.
like maybe B tier,
I think
C
we're
tier.
being really
Now,
biased with the Ogden bit of it, but if we think of artificers as a whole and what it is they're looking to do, they want
yeah,
to tinker, they
yeah.
want to build stuff to just make society, but they're not like, I mean, are we really going to put them below warlocks who are looking to make an evil pact for power
No, no,
versus the
that's for
guy that
sure.
wants to tinker with a clock or something, you
Th-
know?
your dad could build you a pet dog
Yeah.
to protect you on your walk to school.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's T Ed level dadding right there.
Mhm. Mhm. I'd be saying
Wow.
a
Okay.
four-star compromise. I'm gonna
See,
look
yeah,
back at the.
like unlike the sorcerer dad who wants you to be great but doesn't know how to teach you, the
Mhm.
artificer can literally teach you how to create. It's like, oh man, that bully's picking on you all the time. Well, here, let me teach you how to make a Roman candle that shoots actual fireballs at them, so that way the next time you need to defend yourself, you can do. Okay,
Mhm.
all right, now I'm.
Yeah. I could see, you know what? And now I'm thinking about um I cannot remember. It's not Pierre. It's the Belle's dad from Beauty and the Beast. Eccentric inventor.
Oh,
So I could see a four-star dad in the sense of like being so wrapped up in the invention and like kind of the scatterbrained and maybe missing out on a couple of the fatherly duties in kind of like a not in a malicious way, but in an absent, not absent mind, but like has so many other projects and things going on that's like, oh, doing this, doing that, doing this, doing that. It's like, oh, shoot, I forgot to pick up my kid from school. Like,
right.
like that kind of thing. I'm not speaking from any personal experience. I love my dad. That
So
might have happened a
I don't.
couple times, but, but my dad's a 12-star dad.
I I don't think I don't think there's any actual character frame of reference for this, but in my own head canon, Kevin McAllister grew up to be a really good dad.
Yeah.
And as a child was absolutely an artificer with all of the booby traps and
Mm-hmm.
the gizmos and gadgets he would build to protect himself and his home.
Mm-hmm.
So like after all of that trauma of like, okay, did I grow up affluent? Sure. Was I a spoiled brat? Yes. But also was my family a little narcissistic and dismissive of me and my needs from time to time? Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I don't want to repeat that. I almost got kidnapped twice because my family didn't care about me at the time. So I'm not doing that type of stuff to my kids. And I'm also going to make sure that if I somehow fuck this up, that my kids are ready to defend themselves the same way. No.
But you don't think he's also like, well, I figured all this stuff out. I taught you everything I know, everything you know all this stuff ahead of time. Also, you don't think he's also going to
Right.
be like, you have the skills,
Right.
like I
Let's
want to see what you
let
can do.
let's cook. Yeah.
Yeah,
Here, I'm gonna leave you in the garage with all of my shit. I'll be back in a couple of hours. Let me see what you got, kid.
yeah. That's like an excerpt from my childhood.
Yeah.
Like, here, I'll leave you with the drill press. We'll see what you make. Make sure to wear your safety goggles.
That sounds like a fantastic dad. Yeah,
Yeah,
no, Kevin
yeah.
McAllister, the artificer, great father. So I'm ready to rank artificers. You know what? I'm ready to put them at T-Ed level,
Oh,
right up there with the wizards and the fighters.
I'm thinking Aldred level. Aldred. God dang. All the letters are too close to so many other names that we have that just like and we don't say his name enough.
Yeah.
I'm trying to average out. I feel like there are a lot. It's like one of those where there's a bunch of 5-star reviews, but like
Hmm.
enough 1 and 2-star reviews that it pulls it down a little. You know what I
Down
mean?
to that four.
Yeah.
Well, so what
What
negatives do you see coming out of having an artificer for a father?
it's really the Belle Beauty and the Beast, like the
The
like I
forgetfulness.
think like yeah, Doc Brown, um
Mm.
like any sort of genius that has a bunch of projects going on.
Mm.
Because if you're think of like because their thing is they're focused on how to make the cool gadget, how to use something to do that, and it's all about the focus of that sort of invention versus a barbarian, fighter, and even wizard are being strong, protection, like it's already built in there. While the
Right.
artificer can do a lot of things that are separate from those immediate, like it's not as built in as like natural
Right.
as it
Right.
is to already be doing it. Like you have to consciously like shift your focus and make the thing for it. I think that's the little
I
piece that's
cannot
missing.
believe we missed the very obvious artificer father scenario. Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. It's right
Again,
there.
4-star dad.
Yeah.
Maybe 3 or 2 stars specifically. That dad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, but yeah, no. Oh my God, Rick
Robin
Moranis
Williams
and
and
Honey, I
Flubber.
Shrunk the Kids.
It's all those scientist dads. All those
Ooh,
scientist dads are
yeah,
artificers. All the ones that had like a I mean, not necessarily like mechanics wise, and maybe I'm just thinking about Robin Williams, but I'm thinking Mrs. Doubtfire, just like that type of dad that like messed up, like, but then is like fixing it, and he's the fun dad, and he's a good dad,
hmm,
but he just needs some of his life is a little chaotic. He's still like kind of a kid in some ways. I think there's a playfulness that still like gives a little bit of a disadvantage that they have to like work against.
Sidestep. Is Robin Williams, Mrs. Doubtfire, Bard dead?
Oh,
I think that is literally the Bard dad we described
yeah.
earlier about how they're cool, but also not
Yeah.
necessarily the
Oh, that's
best dad.
exactly. That's exactly. And or even like Bard or Rogue. I think because
Yeah,
he's not like nefarious, it's more Bard.
yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly that type of dad
Okay.
with like the disguises
So,
and stuff and like
yeah, yeah,
elaborate schemes that are just like, why did you have to go that far? Why don't you just be there? Yeah.
the disguise self,
Uh-huh.
cream pie face.
Yeah. Hello. Hello.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then he was a voice actor too. Yeah, no,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, Robin Williams,
Yep.
Mrs. Doubtfire, Bard Dad.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, there's that.
Yeah.
All right, so I still think Ivy with the wow, uh, but yeah. So okay, so I think you've won me over to bringing the Artificer down to all red level.
Who else is? Do we have anybody else ranked at 4 at Allred?
Clerics and druids.
That feels right. As
Yeah,
it kind
yeah,
of, I
yeah,
feel like there's a good theme of like cleric. Kind of the priority is they're like pact in their oath to like to their deity, you know.
yeah.
And then with the druid is like nature and like all around them and like animals and like the family of a whole, as opposed to where
Right.
we're looking at fighters, barbarians, and wizards. Like I could see them putting their children, their immediate family, like they're being a little bit more selfish
Yes,
of with their protection and their skills.
for sure.
Yeah, cool.
Wow, this was actually really fun.
Yeah, I think we once we figured it out, I think we got into a groove.
Yeah, man.
Ooh, I can't wait to do.
Look,
We should
look at
do
us.
this with Mother's Day next year. So wait for it to right back around.
Right. About to say, blink, it'll be here quick.
Yeah, right.
All right.
Oh,
Well,
we did
all
it.
right. That we started a little late. We had some tech difficulties, but we got through that. We found our groove with the shoot. What is it? Shooting the shit, sharp shooting the shit. There we go. We found our groove with our sharp shooting the shit, and we think we found the definitive list of the best dad classes in Dungeons and Dragons as they stand today. Um, if you guys enjoyed this, please feel free to come and check out the podcast on all your major podcast platforms, Spotify, Apple Music, at GMDLcast on all of the major socials, Twitter, Blue Sky, Instagram. Are we on TikTok? I don't think we're on TikTok.
I think we have the handle.
Okay, well, we got the handle. I
Yeah,
don't know how much content's on there, but either way, again, my name is Jazz, and I'm with,
Tori,
and I think we're out.
and make stream and oh, I have to do like an outro. I think it's going. They might be able to hear me.